Hello people. Today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit interesting. There is this little company here in Sweden known as Arbetsförmedlingen. You've probably seen Dunderhumor or Thunder Humor, I think their English name is. Uh, Talk about this. I know I have a pimple here and here. Can't use the cameras. Yeah, well, anyway, it's like here and I know I have them. They're not pimples anymore. They're more like infected piece of shit now. Anyway, so uh, anyway, so this company, their sole purpose in life is to make their sole purpose in existence is to make your life miserable. The thing is, they're supposed to be there. No, to be serious here, they're supposed to be there to help you get a job. Like when you get out of college or high school, whatever, whenever the hell you stop school, you sign up with them and basically fill out a questionnaire that sort of tells them your skill set, what you've learned, and what you know how to do. Give them you write down a resume, and then they'll sort of send that off to everyone, and whoever's interested. Actually, they don't send that off to anyone anymore. They used to send that off to anyone that sort of like asked for people with any sort with like I think it was like 70% or something of that questionnaire being like when that questionnaire was filled in, if 70% of what your skill set was of your skill sets or skill set whatever, of 70% of your skills matched what they were looking for, they sent off your resume, and basically from there on they would send you a letter. This company would send you a letter indicating to you that they were interested in you, and you had the option of saying yes or no. And if you said no, you were prompted to give a reason as to why you didn't want their job. Most of the time, this no that they got was because too far away. I can't travel halfway across the country. That's an issue that's persisted over the past 20 years here in Sweden, and it's an issue that will never stop being a thing because Arbetsförmedlingen, they won't stop taking into account the fact that people don't have driver's licenses all the time. Not everybody who gets out of college or high school has a driver's license. Seriously, I'm still working on that crap. I want books on the shelf. I'm going to start reading on them soon. Anyway, the thing is, most of us that gets out of high school and such here in Sweden, we don't have driver's licenses because they're so expensive. Not because it's like you just go and pick one up. It's not that easy. You still have to do all the driver testing and all that bullshit, all that paperwork and all the blah 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 blah, blah all the you know this and you know this. Although 98% of this is never actually done in traffic. Why do you need? Yeah, you get it. It's complicated and fucked up for any one of you that hasn't even touched this subject yet. I'd recommend you to not touch it at all because it's a pain in the ass. Avoid cars. Use a motorcycle. I think I'm gonna stick to that in the future. Cars are boring. They're also a pain in the ass because I can't see half of it. Anyway, guess I'm one of the people with that issue. Anyway, so now what is the problem with them? I mean, this seems kind of cool. A company that helps you get a job sounds like a great plan. And I personally love the idea of this. This is a great concept. I mean, everybody needs a job. Why not have why not have people send job applications to this company, and then they, based on this questionnaire that you have filled in, hopefully honestly, I know there's a lot of people who fill this thing out dishonestly and are therefore horrendously underqualified for what they're supposed to do. This gives not just this company a really bad reputation, but it gives the Swedish people a really bad reputation because horrendously underqualified people are sent off to countries to do jobs that they aren't qualified to do. There's been several instances of people having filled in that they can weld titanium, and then they've been sent off somewhere to the US or whatever. They've begun welding, and they realize they have no idea what they're doing. They've been welding like steel their entire life, and there's like, what the fuck? Titanium is a whole other deal. Yeah, you get it. They're like, how different can it be? Anyway, I don't know how to weld titanium. All I know is that it's much more difficult than welding steel. That's all I know about it, because that's basically all I need to know. Because I'm not planning on welding titanium. I mean, the day I plan on doing that, I'm going to go to class and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm going to take my license for that first. Do I know how to weld steel? In my opinion, and from what my teacher told me, I'm pretty damn good at it. So, I think I'm fairly safe on that zone. I don't have any official published licenses, but I'm pretty good at it. So, could be worse, you know. Anyway, but that's not what I'm here to. I'm not here to talk about my skills. No, I'm here to talk about this whole system they have, because that used to be the thing. They actually compared your questionnaire and your resume to that of whatever the companies are looking for. But now they look for if any single point in the questionnaire from your perspective, from your point, and the random companies coming in are similar, then go ahead, here you go. Here's job application. Great, 98% of these are in Nigeria. That's not a joke, by the way. I got 3 job applications. First day, 2 minutes after I signed up. I hadn't even have time to leave. It was like, you go down to a place. You can do this at home. You can sign up for them at home if you know how to do that. If you have somebody in your family that knows how to help you with that. But I didn't. My mom hadn't signed up online. My sister had signed up online, but she wasn't fucking here. Next time she was going to come here was like a month from them, and I needed to sign up then. That day. So I went down to their local center, their local like office, I guess, down here on downtown. Asked them for help, signed up on their computers. 2 minutes after I'd signed up and was half finished with my resume, I hadn't submitted my resume. I got 3 job applications in the US. What's the issue here? Well, maybe because they weren't essentially... The idea here, I guess, was that I was supposed to move to the US to do these jobs. But they were all 2-month applications. It was like they had sent in applications for about 2 months worth of work each. 2 to 6 months. But I don't think 2 or 6 months is enough time for me to actually bother moving to the US. Mainly because I don't have the money to. I mean, if I'd been working for 30 years, sure. Then why not? I mean, moving around the world is kind of awesome. But since I am literally fresh out of high school, I have not done any job prior to this. I haven't even had a summer job. A pastime job. Nope. Nothing. You don't have to have that in Sweden. So, it's not forced upon you here in Sweden like it is in the US. You Americans have it easy on that front. You're more or less forced to get a job at some point. Doesn't matter what kind, just something so you can pay your college, just something so you can pay your education. We here in Sweden, we're doled out cash for the education, so we don't have to, making us inexperienced when it comes to actual real-life jobs when we leave school. This makes us horrendously not wanted within the community of work here in Sweden, because everybody here in Sweden wants highly experienced trained professionals. Not even McDonald's hires teenagers here. Oh, well, they do. But only if they have gone, like, you know, the whole restaurant course. Because it's so fucking difficult to assemble a Big Mac. What's the one thing to do in the kitchen? Stay clean. There you go. You now have the entire restaurant, or like chef's line. You now have the entire thing. There you go. Stay clean. Clean clothes, clean hands, freshly washed face, hairnet. There you go. You're done. That's basically all they teach you during the whole cuisine line here in Sweden. At least when it comes to the cooking aspect of it. Stay clean. That's all. How do I know this? I had a friend who went that line. He said the entire first year was spent doing that. Basically, them nagging on you to stay clean. And, well, obviously, you're going to be serving people food. You don't want them getting sick. You want it to come back. You want to make money off of these people. You want them to come back. You don't want them to leave permanently. I mean, some restaurants seem to be out doing that, but, you know. Common decency and common sense gets you really far in this world, actually. The only problem is you most of the time need a piece of paper that proves that you have said common decency and common sense. For some reason, I don't get that. Anyway, so what was the problem? So I declined those 3 jobs by pushing the decline button. Gave the reason I don't have a car. I can't travel to the US because I have no money. The same answer for all of them, because I have no money, I have no car, all I have is a bicycle. At the time, I didn't even have a bicycle because my bicycle was broken. Now I have a new one, so now I can travel down the street and probably like halfway across town, but that's basically it. I can't really travel to a different country. I don't have the money to do that. So I can't take a loan to take a job. That would be very counterproductive. It's like, it's not just counterintuitive, it's counterproductive. I don't understand people who do that. They take a loan so they can take a job, so they can pay off that loan just in time to be done with their job. It's like, what the fuck? Are you just trying to just be... Are you trying to not earn money? The whole point of having a job is earning money so that you can pay off your bills and live somewhere, so that you can have the opportunity to make more money, and then eventually do what the fuck you want because you have money. That's the whole point of having a job. Some people don't seem to get that. They take loan upon loan upon loan upon loan. Eventually they get a job, and then they begin paying off those loans, and then they spend their entire life taking more loans and then paying off the old ones, and successfully doing this. Not a good plan, people. Don't take a loan to buy a car. Don't take a loan to buy a brand new car under justification that I won't have to serve it, because you'll have to serve it like literally 2 weeks after you buy it. Most new cars aren't that good. I mean, they're fuel efficient. But seriously, fuel is only so expensive. And if you want something that actually doesn't pull my fuel, get yourself a diesel. Get yourself a diesel. Oh, there's road tax. Well, you don't even have to pay for the fuel most of the time. How do I mean? No, not steal it. Use oil. Cooking oil. Boil it. There you go. No, you don't need additives. You can run any modern or old diesel on just standard cooking oil. How do I know this? Fucking science! The only difference between cooking oil and diesel is viscosity. If you're in a country that's semi-warm, you can run your car on basically anything, because everything is has a low viscosity and high temperature. Above 20 degrees Celsius, cooking oil has the viscosity of basically thin motor oil, or thin oil in general. It has a very low viscosity at higher temperatures. And if you have a fuel-injected system, a slightly higher viscosity doesn't really matter. The thing has so high pressure that all it's really going to do is increase your power output. Not really going to decrease your fuel consumption, though. It's, if anything, going to increase it, because it has a lower, I think it has a lower BTU. Or, yeah. I think the only downside to using cooking oil is that it, like, you don't get as many miles per gallon because you drink up more fuel to keep the same RPMs and such. On the other hand, it's a viable fuel source. Very viable. The only downside is it goes bad, so don't store barrels upon barrels of it. Don't only buy as much as you consume. That's the only buy as much biodiesel or cooking oil as you consume, because the stuff goes bad. And if you're gonna store it, boil it on occasion. If you're gonna store it for a longer period of time, boil it on occasion. Reason, you get rid of the water in it. Very important when you're running a diesel car. No water. Any water and you've ruined it. No joke. It can take you a week to get a drowned diesel back up and running. A week. And that's just cleaning out the fuel system. Anyway, the cylinders don't really matter. It's the fuel system, the fuel injection system that's really pissing people off. The pumps and such. Pumps, injectors, and all that crap. Anyway, so, back to the whole Arbetsförmedling thing. I don't see their logic here. I have filled in the questionnaire in that I don't own a car. Anyway, I had declined these 3, and I got home, I checked my page again, and I'll be darned if those are the other 3! This time they were at least in the same country. At least this time they were like, in Sweden. But still, 2 were as far up in Sweden as you can get without actually crossing the Norwegian border. I actually suspect the point was I was supposed to be hired there, but actually work in Norway because there's lower taxes to own a company in Sweden. Yeah, that's actually a thing, by the way. The taxes here in Sweden for owning a company are lower than they are in Norway, literally just a few miles away. So you can guess how some people, and by the way, things are in general more expensive in Norway. So you can guess why some companies establish themselves on the border between Sweden and Norway, like on the Swedish side. They establish a company there, and then they operate on the Norwegian side. You can imagine why that is profitable, to say the least. It would be good money, obviously, but I can't travel that far. And yet again, it was one of those jobs where you're supposed to settle down up there. I can't even travel that far. I mean, I guess I could have spent $300-400 paying for a train ticket to take me up there. 10-hour train ticket. No! Anyway, so I guess I could have done that, but I didn't feel like doing that, so I declined 2 of those. The third one was actually somewhat nearby. Problem, it was in the middle of nowhere. At the time, I had no idea my sister was more or less going to move out into an area that was nearby. So I declined the job that would actually been sitting nearby there. Kind of stupid of me, but it still would have been too far to ride with bikes. So I'd have to ask either my sister or the guy she's living with to sort of, drive me there every day, and that would have been a pain in the ass for them. Although, to be fair, I probably could have paid off the fuel easily. So, still good money, but, So where am I now on that front? Well, the thing is, the following Monday, I believe. No! Yes. The following week, I went there one Monday, and then the following Monday, there was a meeting there for a security guard company. They essentially rent out security guards for industrial applications. They use us to throw in tanks and such to make sure people are safe. More or less, actually. But we sit outside and stare into tanks like, "Hey, how you doing in there?" Yeah, we're essentially there to keep people alive, keep them from killing themselves. And would you believe how many fucking security rules there are? And half of them aren't even related to us. We have to know damn near everything there is to know. And half of it isn't vital to our job. I already knew a good portion of it since I've already gone a whole welding class and welding and fabrication class and such, so haven't done much machining, but fabricating stuff with hand tools has been done. So I know a large portion of that, so it's not like it's any new to me, but still, why do we have to know what procedures to follow when running a weld bead, when running a bead of weld, when we're simply there to stand guard, to prevent people from walking in place? The thing is, all these security measures are supposed to be up to code that's on a piece of paper that we have with us. We just have to compare to the piece of paper to make sure everything is followed. And if it's not, we can basically stop work and say, nope, you have to correct this. That's our job. But apparently, that's not enough to have those instructions. No, you have to know everything off the top of your head. So I did that yesterday with great success. 93% of the questions answered. I missed 2 out of 30. So that's pretty good. 4. I was allowed to miss 4 questions. So that's pretty good. Only had half as much failure rate as I was allowed to, and I didn't actually fail any questions. I just missed the one part of a multi-part answer. I'll follow this up in a different recording. Hang on here.